Hello, it's Greg Grizzly and Gaijin. We're back. We hope you're having a happy day wherever you're listening to this audio content from. As always, I'd like to thank you for your continued support of Greg Grizzly and Gaijin social media and writing efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is episode 023 of the Greg Grizzly and Gaijin, definitely not a podcast show. A light and fluffy look at social media, Japan, Japanese food, expat life, and life in general. As always, your retweets of this and all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content that we actively tweet and retweet out on Craig Hoffman 11 on Twitter is appreciated. Thank you in advance for helping us get the good word out about Greg Grizzly and Gaijin. Today's show, we're talking about being more efficient to shorten the path to your goals and dreams. So I've been doing a lot of research on being efficient in piano practice recently and in life. It's kind of a hobby. I enjoy being good with time. You can always get more money, you can always get more friends, and you can always get another job. But time, once it's gone, is gone. And unfortunately, it's not something that people can get back. And even worse, it tends to be something that people waste too much of, especially here in Japan as a foreigner. There's something about, especially those who teach English, once you get a gig and you get the routine down, it's difficult for many people to stay motivated during the down time. I was an ALT early in my time here. That's an assistant language teacher. And of course, every semester there are days of tests, especially at the junior high level. And there was little to nothing for me to do beyond recording whatever blurb they wanted for the listening exam from the native speaker. And I chose to spend a lot of that time writing and studying Japanese. Both very, very smart things to do for my life. As I remember my old days, I love going back to my old content. And of course, that helps me a lot as I create my current blog and social media content for everyone to enjoy. And I'm certainly glad that they do. Of course, after work, when you're done 4:30, 5 or 6 o'clock, and you're single as I was, there's time to do a lot of things. And I spent an inordinate amount of time at various izakaya, Japanese bars, drinking and chatting and having a good time with my friends, weekends too. There was nothing wrong with that, but it was a lot of time that probably could have been better spent. And of course, the years passed and drinking and going out and traveling lost some of its allure. And to be honest, I got married and I had responsibilities that took more and more of my time. And I shifted to the opposite end of the spectrum where I go out and do very, very little. In fact, outside of work, I'm generally home. I think sleep is rather inefficient. I know people disagree with that, and there are health studies that said you should get X amount of hours. I don't, and I don't really need them, and that's just a fortunate thing. So I get up really early, and it helps me to be efficient in my life. I get up about 4:30, I jump into the shower, I shave, it helps wake me up. These days I sit down at the piano for about 90 minutes, and then I go on with the rest of my day. I do that before bed. I don't watch Japanese TV. I don't watch TV in general. I don't read a lot of books. I do read the news as I have time. I do like to keep up on current events. People are often interested in my opinions, and I do like to have stuff to write about, especially on my blog, and I'm always looking for some unique angle as I create the next book. But other than that, no, I don't play video games. I don't, spend tons of time, shockingly, on social media, despite being rather large. I limit my time intentionally. I have blogging time, that's what I do. I have Twitter time, that's what I do. And when it's not blogging and Twitter and writing time, I don't do it. I segment my life into really focused, small, manageable things that I divide and conquer. That's not my idea. You can go to any website. They'll tell you if you have big tasks to do, break it into smaller tasks. Focus on doing the simple things really, really well to get big results. And I was reminded of this as I was sitting at the piano going measure by measure. You haven't lived until you've played a measure about 100 times in the course of about 10 minutes, super slowly. That's just the way it works. But it does produce big results. What happens especially in children, but more recently in younger adults and in this generation in 2018, is that people get impatient. They want the big results, but they're unwilling or unable to have the patience and wisdom to make the little effort. And I know when I teach English, it gets all the kids, oh, I remember, Craig Sensei, I know. Do you remember all the cards, or did you just get that one card right? Well, I know most of the cards. Well, do you know most of the cards, or do you know about half? Well, I know 3 or 4. Well, your definition of perfect and my definition of perfect are very, very different. And the students get really quiet. I know when I talk to people on social media, oh, well, I'm a blogger. Well, do you blog? Well, like once a month or every couple of weeks, or my favorite, when I have, quote, time. I never buy that as an excuse. I work a lot, I do a lot of things, and I make the time. There's a difference in life between I can't do nani and I won't do nani. And that trips up most of the unsuccessful people who I know here in Japan and in my life in general. When the winner and the successful person in life decides to do something, they have not only a goal, but a plan to get there step by step, and they're willing to crawl if necessary. The unsuccessful failures who I know in life, and sadly there are many, and it seems to be a growing number, are the people who also have big goals and dreams, but generally have no plan. And even if they have a plan, it's in broad strokes. I was talking to a foreigner. He said, I want a house. I said, well, wow, that's a great goal. What are you going to do? He goes, oh, I'm just going to go to the bank and I'm going to get a loan for like $250,000 US. And I kind of stopped, kind of laughed. If you've ever tried to get a loan from a Japanese bank, you'll know why that is. They require a bit more than a smile and your pretty face to get money to that extent from a bank here in Japan. Of that, you can be sure. But I humored him. I said, well, you could save money, right? He said, well, I'm trying to work less. And I said, less? But you said you needed more money to get the house. He said, well, yeah, but, my free time and I got, quote, things to do. I said, oh, well, you're busy, right? You got a family and you're married. He's like, yeah, but, my stuff. And I said, oh, maybe, what, you're going back to college? You're going to get, that ESL certificate that you've always talked about? Well, no, I'm going to play some video games. I got a new PlayStation, whatever it was. And, there's these new games online, and I got friends in America, and we like time together on the weekends. And I said, oh, is that free? He said, no, the game system was like $600 US. And I said, well, I guess one time it's okay, right? And he said, yeah, there's a monthly subscription of some whatever money he threw out. I said, oh, is that more important than your house? He said, no, but don't worry. My wife and I are talking. We're looking for ways to cut our food budget so that we can have money for the house. And I just kind of got quiet and walked away and went on with the rest of my day. That would be funny, except it's really sad. And I would love to tell you that that's a unique story of people that I've met here, but it isn't. I meet a lot of people who simply have no plan and no means to reach their great dreams and goals. I urge you, if that's you, to stop where you are, reevaluate what you're doing, and really understand what it's going to take for you to get your dream. And then go about dividing and conquering those steps to your dream to make sure that you're not sitting here in Japan or wherever you're listening to this from 5, 10, 15 years later, regretting that you were unwilling and unable to turn I won't into I will. That's it, and have a great, great day.